The Hannah Arendt Conference on Racism and Anti-Semitism is one of the few spaces in the country where grassroots activists and academics, students get to come together to reflect on the issues of bigotry, othering, democracy. And it is one of the few places where we get to have intense conversations around the issue of anti-Semitism and racism.
These are urgent issues that touch on many things. They touch on immigration, identity, religion. These are some of the core questions that we all deal with in our lives, and so there's really not a conference that could be more pressing than one like we're participating in right now here at BART.
Hannah Arendt in particular is an important figure who raised a lot of questions around freedom, the social, the political, the private, all kinds of things. And so thinking through those issues both with and against Hannah Arendt are important, especially with the proliferation of new versions of anti-Semitism and racism in our current kind of era.
Racism and anti-Semitism are things that the students at this school care a lot about, and students across the country, I think, care a lot about. There have been a lot of already really nuanced conversations happening on stage, things being talked about that I haven't really heard before in conversations about race.
One of the problems, of course, of spending one's life on a university campus, that you tend to speak to people who have mostly the same views of things. And I think one of the nice things that you get at a conference like this is you feel that you are actually hearing from people whose views are quite different from one another.
There are all of these people who are approaching this singular problem from a wide variety of perspectives. And our ability to hear them, to take away different elements and to form an entirely new framework, or even to copy a framework that we find compelling and convincing. You don't get these kinds of opportunities often in such wonderfully civil spaces.
The most important message at a conference like this, the most important takeaway, is that if your idea about issues of race and anti-Semitism is something where you would preface it with, well, all I know is, this conference should convince you that it's more complicated than that. Well, all I know is that won't work here, because no one knows is on these things. These things are complicated, and if you're going to start feeling glib, you'd better bring an awful lot of reflection to it. And you don't want to have to do it all by yourself, and so it helps to listen to a bunch of people who've done it all before. So that's what all of this is for, to show that anything worth thinking about is not going to be 3 snaps up easy. All I know is, no, you don't. That's what a conference like this is for.